Hello friends, so welcome to this demo lecture wherein we'll be check or will we see how we can create the shared access signature keys. So in order to do that, there are few steps in which we'll perform this activity. So first we'll do is create a container within a storage account which we have already created and used within our previous demos, and then in the second step we'll access that created container via the storage explorer, and then we'll generate the SAS keys for a particular container, and we'll also see how we can upload data, and then we'll see that after creating we'll get the details which we can share it with the application owners. So in order to do that, first we need to create a container within the storage account. So let's move on to the Azure portal and try to create the container. So for that, let me access the storage account, and so there is only one storage account, SA test 389, which we have already created. So if I'll open this storage account, on the left side we have the different blob containers, everything. So I'll click on containers. You can also do the same thing via here as well. You can click on containers and the same tab will open. And if I'll come over here, let's say uh, containers, I'll get to the same tab. So click on containers. As I don't have any container, so we'll create a container SA. What was the name we have given? We'll use the same name, or you can give the any name. SA hyphen container will use this particular name, and SA security architects, the same name we are choosing. Container, sorry, SA container, and then I'm not going to change the access. So there are different permissions we have, and so let's do it to the private no anonymous access. Click on OK. A container has been created. So you can see successfully created the storage container. Now what we can do is, now we'll try to access this container via the storage explorer, which is a tool basically to access the storage account. So if you have not downloaded the storage container yet, it is pretty simple. You can go to the Microsoft website and download the container as per your operating system, and also you can go over here. If you'll click on this tab, open in Explorer, then you get a link to download the storage explorer. So if you click on this link, it will go to the Microsoft link, and depending on your operating system you can download that. So on my machine I have already downloaded the explorer. So once you download the explorer, you need to authenticate yourself by using the credentials. So I have used the same credentials which I have and logged into the explorer. So now we'll try to access this particular storage container via the storage explorer which I have already downloaded. So let's click on to the storage container. So this is the storage container which I have already downloaded, and so it's a simple installation. You need to provide your username and the password, and then you'll be authenticated to your Azure account. So this is my free trial subscription which I'm using currently, and this is the storage account we have created, SA test 389 for previous lecture, and within which we created the storage account. So if you'll see, this is the storage accounts SA test 389 within which we created a container. So the container name is SA hyphen container. So we'll see that same in a, so I'll expand this, click on blob containers, and you see I'll be able to see the container which I have created. So now in the third step, what we need to do is we need to create the SAS keys for this. So generate SAS keys and check various permissions we have. So let me go to the Explorer again, and so if you right click on it, I'll get a tab, get shared access signatures. So just click on this and you get a start, like we have already discussed in the previous lectures, that okay, you can define the start time, expiry time for the uh, for your shared access signatures, because we provide a granular level of access. At the same time, there are a number of permissions which you can apply. By default, read and list are provided. So onto this shared access signature, which all permissions you need to apply so that that application which you'll be using or a resource which you'll be using to access the storage container, what kind of action they can perform onto the data which is stored onto the container. So all these permissions you can change it from here. Here is an access policy. I'll explain that in a moment. Basically, this is the stored access policy. Like in the theory lecture, we have also discussed that, okay, if you want to control the access policies via control the shared access via some policies, the management would be pretty easier, and in that case you just need to change it in the policy. Automatically the changes will be updated onto the shared policy. So in that case I'll show you that, okay, how you can apply the policy, and when you click on when you apply that policy will automatically get reflected over here. So this is how you apply different permissions for that particular SAS key. So let's create, and this is basically the URI which you will be giving it to your application owner. So if you'll pay this attention to this particular URL, remember we discussed in our SAS key lectures as well that, okay, this is the actually your blob container name we have, right? And then we have the signature information or the key information we have, and for this particular container. So this is how we access the shared access key, and this particular key which you will be URI which you give it to your let's say application owner, so that they can add that particular string into their application, hard code that, so that they can access that particular data depending on the permissions we have provided. Now the other thing which I would like to show is that how we can create the access policy onto these containers, the tab which I shown you while creating the access keys. So if you'll click on here and click on access policy, you'll get a tab where you need to where you can uh, give all the permissions and that start time, expiry time through a policy itself. So if I'll click over here, you can give the name. Let's say if I'll give only create permission or write permission, then I can say that onto this SA container I have given write and create. So let's say WC policy, and then I can give the start time, let's say from tomorrow to, let's say, only for 3-4 days or 31st of December, and then click on OK. So here I have created the stored access policy, means the storage access policy I have created. So we'll click on save. It will take a few seconds. So the policy has already been updated. So now you have created a this storage access policy for the container. Now the SAS key which you will be creating will be based on the policy itself. So let's say now we need to go to the storage explorer again. Now if I'll click over here, okay, and go to the shared access signatures, I can select the policy. It should reflect, yeah, SA container hyphen policy. Now I can basically create the access policy based on that, and I'll give it to this particular URI to the application owner. And here as an admin or a security person, it will be easier for me tomorrow if I need to change something. I need not to, because this also this permissions will also get changed. So in that case I need to change the permissions from the policy itself rather than updating again. So in that case each time the application owner need not to update the URI. So this is the way how we can create the shared access signature keys and give the URI to the application owner so they can access the contents within our storage account. So this is it, friends. Hope now you have the clarity that, okay, how we can create the SAS keys and we can have a more granular level of access. So this is it, friends. Thank you for watching this lecture.